Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara, CPA, coming to you live from downtown Flushing, New York, for another amazing episode of my workshop presentation. Yes, folks, we're doing another workshop. The last one was a big hit, and my team and I decided we're going to do this on a regular basis. All brand new content. If you're watching live, give me a hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. I'm just going to be covering a couple of the new topics and a couple of the old topics that are still new that we'll be covering on April 6th. Now, the webinar, I'm going to get you a link for it here. I should have had it already. If you don't know me, I am, like I said, a CPA. I specialize in working with the smallest of small businesses, people that woke up in the morning and decided they wanted to quit their day job and go into business, people that are retiring and want to start a business, people that are in business and are small and all disorganized and going in all different directions. And what we do at Bedrock is we help people straighten it out. You know, we take what most people look as complicated situations, and we're able to unravel it because my team and I have been working on these types of situations for a long time. Myself, over 35 years, but I have decades of experience with my team, their own experience dealing with messed up books, and that's what we deal with. It's no joke, starting a business and trying to keep track of your stuff and accounting and keeping track of all the different rules and regulations that you're required to file, even if you don't realize that you're in business. A lot of people are in business and they don't even realize it. And that causes a problem when you go to do your tax return, because that's when you get, those surprises that you weren't expecting. And those surprises sometimes turn into big problems. And I'm just looking at my links here to try to get the link to the workshop. And that is the thank you page. One second, and here it is. So this is a free webinar. It's going to be April 6th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we'll have another hour for Q&A. What happened at the last webinar, we had over 30 people in the event, and most of them stayed for the whole 2 hours. And then they stayed for Jeopardy, a game that my VA Elizabeth created. And we had a lot of fun, and we answered a lot of questions, and it would have went on forever. But, we ended it at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we plan on doing the same thing this time. And let me just go through a couple of the topics that I'm going to be covering in this webinar. It's really a workshop. It's going to be an interactive workshop. And so tax credits, this is something that, I haven't really paid too much attention to just because of the nature of the kind of work that we're doing with focusing, a lot on just getting people's books straightened out. And so I'm going to go through a lot of credits that people may be entitled to. So I'll give you a couple of examples here. I want to stop my screen sharing. And I'll show you. So this is a form 3800. Okay, general business credit. Now let me tell you about what some of the general business credits are that you may be entitled to. There's a form 8994, which is an employer credit for paid family and medical leave. Now, with the CARES Act, if you have employees, they take off. So all you need to do is have a written policy, and when they take off, you get a substantial tax credit. So I have a bunch of clients that I'm going to talk to about this. Mel, if you're watching, I will be texting you shortly. And a lot of these credits, they come out and, unless you're like in the loop, if you're on top of it, if you have a team of tax researchers that are on top of this stuff, they come out, and unless you know about it, you're going to lose out. But the good thing, folks, the good thing is that a lot of these credits, if you can go back up to 3 years and amend your return and get a lot of these credits that you could have qualified for, that you may have qualified for, but didn't know about. So that's just one. Small employer health insurance premiums. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you that I'm an expert on all of these, because nobody can be. But if you're an employer and you provide health insurance, and it could be for your family or and it depends. So with everything, with tax rules, it depends. You got to be careful when it comes to what they call related party transactions. And that's, obvious, your wife, your kids, and stuff like that. But, there's a line that you can draw legally and have agreements with individual parties, even if they're your family members, and qualify for a lot of these credits. So if you own a restaurant, you have to pay tax, believe it or not. You have to pay tax on the tips that your employees get. Well, you can get a credit for some of those taxes that you paid. Let's see, work opportunity credit, employee retention credit. Okay. And I'm going to go into details on a lot of these as much as I can during the workshop. Energy efficient home credit. Now, how they put that as a general business credit, I have no idea. But if it's a credit, I'm going to take it. New markets credit, small employer pension plan. So if you have a corporation, and you set up a SEP or some kind of pension plan for yourself, you might be entitled to a credit for the money that you contribute to yourself, believe it or not, or your spouse, your kids, whoever is on your account. So that's just a few of them. A friend of mine sent me a really interesting, and I can't find it now, but it has to do with, and we're going to do a whole thing on it, because you can get a credit, believe it or not, for making your website ADA compliant. In other words, the American Disabilities Act gives businesses credits for making their business more accessible. So I never honestly made the connection, because it was designed for like restaurants that put in, ramps, or make bathrooms, disabled accessible. And I think a lot of local laws force them to do that anyway. But if they do it, they get this credit, which can be up to $5,000. Okay, it's not a small amount of money for most people. Well, if you make your website ADA compliant, you're making it easier for people to do business with you. And that was the whole idea of the credit. The credit is set up to make it easier for people with disabilities to do business with you. So think about it. I'm an accounting firm. I have a website. My website is integral to my business. I have a lot of information on there. And yeah, we want to make it ADA compliant. We should have done that anyway, to be honest with you. But now that I know that I'm going to get a tax credit, it's gone up on the list of priorities. So that's a couple of things that I'm going to be talking about with the credits, and we could go on for days just on tax credits, but I'm just going to make it clear, as clear as I can, about some of the credits that are available to sole proprietors and to any small business owners. I'm going to spend some time on bad tax preparers, and unfortunately I feel like I have to, because there's a big problem in this country, folks, with quality tax professionals. And I could tell you why. When we started getting into computers, people became data programmers instead of accountants. Okay, it's easy to put numbers into a computer system. It's not easy to know how to do tax planning properly. And because of that, you get a lot of schlock tax preparers out there. And there's different levels. There's the tax preparers that are actually criminals, that are consciously giving their clients advice on how to cheat the system. And the problem is that, 30 years ago, it was easy. It was a lot easier. And I can tell you my own experience. I worked for a firm for over 9 months that was actually charged. I don't remember what the final outcome was, because I left the firm once they found out they were being investigated by the IRS and the FBI. They were a criminal enterprise, and there's a lot of them out there, because it was easy to game the system. It was easy before technology. Things didn't catch up to you as quickly, or never. Now things are different. And so the IRS, using technology, hiring a lot of agents, they're on us like white is on rice, folks. And so you got the criminal tax preparers, then you got the totally incompetent tax preparers, unfortunately. People that came into the business, maybe they took an H&R Block course and decided that they can put up a shingle. Now, I don't know how that's possible, because the IRS actually has rules for people that can legally electronically file returns. Now, you got to be a CPA, an attorney, an enrolled actuary, believe it or not, and I think that's it, an enrolled agent. So there's only 4 types of professionals that can actually electronically file tax returns. Okay, so what I'm thinking is that most of the ones that are doing it, that are not qualified, are going through some other firm and using their ERO numbers. But the fact is that so you have those people. You have older accountants that didn't like to adopt to the technology, and really never changed their ways, and just I ran into a tax preparer that was still filing his returns by paper, which is actually illegal. So he had all of his clients sign off on a waiver to file paper returns, but that was not legal. I'm sure that the IRS must have flagged him, and his clients will probably be getting audited, which is not fair. Then you have the accountants that, for some reason, they think that they're doing a good job when they get their clients a refund. And there's a lot of ways to get a client's a refund by doing your return the wrong way. Now, the problem with that is they are heroes for about 18 to 24 months. Okay, because it takes about 1.5 to 2 years before their mistakes catch up to you. And then when they do, you get a letter. And who are you going to give the letter to? You're going to give the letter to the person that caused the mistake. So there's a big problem with this, and we're going to talk about this. I don't know what the solution is. Education, and it's going to take a long time. And we're going to talk about the new developments that are going on with the PPP loan, the EIDL, and other opportunities for small businesses to get financing, to get grants, and basically to start working the system the way that big corporations have been doing for years. Okay, that's the crux of it, folks. That's what it comes down to. That's what my job is. My job is to help the 25 million sole proprietors that are out there that are getting unfairly targeted, that are getting overtaxed, that are put into a situation that is impossible for them to succeed, where they're inundated with not only government uh, compliance stuff. Okay, so I could understand that. You have to, if you're in business, you have a responsibility. But then you have a whole industry of vultures that go after new businesses, and they pose as being from the government. They make it look like they're from the government. They say, you can, for only $97, we will send you these mandatory payroll posters. Well, yeah, they're mandatory, but you get them for free. You get them for free. And then there's a company that will do your annual minutes, and they'll put it in a frame for you, and you don't need that. Okay, you don't need that. According to state law, they say that you need it, but if you're a single owner shareholder, you have a meeting with yourself. Why would you pay for a document to document a meeting with yourself? It makes no sense. But the fact is that there's a lot of companies out there like that. And on just about every Secretary of State website, they have a warning about these companies. Well, why are they giving them a warning? Why don't they put them out of business? Why don't they make it illegal to make it seem like it's coming from the government? Because they look like they're coming from the government. Okay, and that's what people think. And I've seen far too many times people just pay those bills because they think they have to. They don't have somebody like me to go to, and they panic and they just pay the bill. So that's my story. I'm sticking with it. We have a lot of work to do, folks. There's a lot of teaching to be done. I could see that. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of opportunities, folks. There's a lot of opportunities out there. If you're in business, if you want to start a business, and that's what Bedrock Business Builders is for. That's what I'm here for. And I would say, like to say, God bless. I'm over by a minute. Sorry, Haley Gray, I think. So thank you. I will talk to you soon. Bye.